Well, this is a very special episode today.
It's just... Guys.
Is this the start of the episode already?
Is it?
No one's here yet! Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new episode of More Nerds Than Mics. I'm your host, Kevin Lau. You can follow me on Twitter at AuthorKayla. That is AuthorKlau. And to my right, I have another host. His name is...
Ryan. I'm the guy who likes stuff.
And to my left, we have... no one.
An empty chair.
An empty chair. Empty chair, can you tell us where on Twitter we can follow you at? Oh, well, you can just follow me at emptychair.com. Oh, thank you, Empty Chair.
And that is our cast for today.
And that is the entire episode today because, a lot of our hosts are not showing up. I think I'm getting messages from them. Maybe.
Wait a minute.
I'm opening up my message.
There exist? We won't be
Matt,
back.
Okay, Matt says that he won't be back for a while. And then...
Dang it, Matt.
And then Ryan liked my message about podcasters.
Podcasters are simple.
Yeah, you liked the message. I got a notification from that just now.
Yay.
So yeah, it's just Ryan and I today. And I think Ben's going to stop by later to, be his roommate self and join in.
Yes.
So yeah, Ryan, what did you do this week?
Let's see. I found out Young Justice is returning.
Yes, Young Justice Season 3. As you can see, we have so much enthusiasm this episode.
I'm so happy. It's hard.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to my normal voice now.
I'm excited.
So I haven't seen the first two seasons of Young Justice. I've seen bits and pieces here and there, and they seem really good.
Why haven't you seen the
I've been busy with other things. I could have been watching it today, but I was reading a book instead.
It's half an hour episodes, man.
I know.
It's so fast. It's so good. I mean, here's the thing. It kind of got weird second season because it got more characters.
Apparently they had clones.
Yeah, they had clones. They had a lot of clones.
Mm-hmm.
It got confusing at one point, but it made sense.
It's like so many double crossers.
Oh yeah, like it was a huge
I saw the episode where like everyone's just double crossing everyone else. I'm just like, yay!
It's like
this is a comic book show.
I mean, yeah, like you don't know. The first whole season is about who do you trust and who not to trust. Mm-hmm. And then the second season, they have a little bit of that because they're like, oh, you have a traitor again. And it's like, who's a traitor this time? I'll say this. First season, they did a really good job hiding who the traitor was. Like, you had no idea when they finally revealed it. You're just like, what?
Okay, just real quick for audiences who don't know, what is Young Justice?
Basically, Young Justice is like, if you remember Teen Titans, it's kind of like, the sidekicks of the superheroes. Don't call them sidekicks because they hate that.
Cool.
But it's like, you got Robin, who, if you don't know who Robin is, then you're probably living under a rock. There's Aqualad, there's Kid Flash, Superboy, Miss Martian, Artemis. Some of those might be more unrecognizable names. And for some reason, Zatanna is a teenager instead of an adult.
I thought it showed Zatanna as an adult.
No, it does, after the time skip.
But no, in season 1, I thought she was an adult.
No, she starts off as a teenager. Her father, Zatara, is the, magician of the group.
Uh-huh.
And then Dr. Fate joins later on.
Oh.
And so she, starts off as, a member of the team until she gets older, and then she joins the Justice League as a full member.
Alright.
So, yeah, Young Justice was basically, the superheroes couldn't do everything, on their own. They had to always do stuff in the spotlight. And, just trying to get behind the scenes was hard, so they got their sidekicks who wanted to prove themselves to do stuff behind the scenes and do the missions that, are more secretive. So, sneak onto an island or find some new product or whatever. Stop an alien invasion occasionally.
Yeah, I think there was an alien invasion. They had Blue Beetle in it too.
Yep.
I was like, oh my gosh, they have a Blue Beetle. The Jaime Reyes Blue Beetle, my favorite one.
They teased Ted Cord, at least as death.
Okay.
Yeah, so they had time. Jaime Reyes was the more prominent Blue Beetle. And they did a whole lot of things with the origins and stuff from the comics, Superboy's origin, if you know what that is. I'm not gonna spoil it for any
test tubes.
Possible future. Yes, test tubes. They teased stuff with, like, they made a whole new Aqualad for this show. Because if you remember the Aqualad from Teen Titans, he was kind of a, like, weak.
He's just kind of like a one-off character, right?
Yeah, but then the Aqualad for this show, like, you cannot hate him. Like, he's the coolest Aqualad. Like, he's stronger than Aquaman.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, because Aquaman apparently doesn't know much magic. He just punches stuff with his fists and communicates with fish. Whereas Aqualad has these little,
it's like, yeah, it's like sword hilts, but like they can turn into like any weapon kind of.
They can even shoot water, and it's just like, hey,
water guns.
Yeah, it's just like he's powerful, and he also has like little tattoos on him that allow him to electrify stuff. And I'm just like, why are you the sidekick? Like, why are you?
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, like, I mean, like, even when he becomes older and his powers, like, grow, I'm like, he was only able to create, like, a sword almost like a katana or a machete. Now he's creating, like, a giant great sword with just, like, this tiny little hill and just slashing stuff. I'm like, why are you not the hero? Yeah, but, like...
Maybe it's an age issue.
Yeah, and it's like, the show was dark. The show got dark, even though it was on Cartoon Network.
Well, it's definitely, like a more serious Teen Titan, right?
Yeah, it was way more serious. Like, whereas Teen Titans would occasionally do, like, comedy episodes or just, like, ridiculous stuff, Young Justice kept it, like, an overarching story within, like, side episodes where they had a mission of the week or whatever. And, it got real dark at points, and you're just like, dang, I don't know what to do.
Alright, so, Season 3, Warner Brothers has announced officially that they're finally going to be making it. There was a lot of, like, false reports about it, like, throughout the years. But now it's official from Warner Brothers that it's going to be made. There's no news yet about what outlet it's going to be going, so, like, whether it's going to be in Cartoon Network or Netflix, no one's for sure. I think Netflix producers have said that they weren't going to...
They weren't?
I mean, there were rumors that it was going to go be on Netflix, and then the Netflix, like, CEO or whatever, he was like, no, that's not true.
I hope it doesn't.
But then again, producers have said, like, we're not making this movie. And then, 2 months later, they announced, like, yeah, we're totally making this movie.
Yeah, it's just like, okay. I mean, the show's already on Netflix. Go watch it, people, please, so you can, get ready.
Oh, yeah, if you haven't seen it, watch it on Netflix. It also supports the creators, and it kind of, helps fund the Season 3 a little bit.
Yeah, it's got the whole 2 seasons are on there, so watch it. But, yeah, it's like, we might as well put it on there. Plus, people can be happy because he has all the episodes instead of, I gotta wait every week again, because that was a pain.
Well, that's how TV works.
I mean, yeah, but the thing with
even for a Hulu series, they still do it, once a week.
Oh, yeah. But the thing is, Young Justice started in 2013 or something, 2014. But, they had so many hiatuses that it was, ridiculous.
Was it, every other... Where there's, gaps in between seasons?
Yeah, no, gaps in between episodes.
In between.
They did, I remember there was one huge gap that got on my nerves, where they showed the first 9 episodes, and I was excited. I was like, hey, I want to see more. And then they stopped it for a long time, and then they went up to, about the 17th episode, and then they stopped it again for a long time, and then it finally came back, and then went all the way to season finale.
That sounds like the same setup as The Flash. Because you got episodes, the first 9 episodes of the season, then you got the winter break.
Yeah.
Then it goes back again, then up to episode 17, it takes, a 2-week break, I think.
Yeah, but this was, it felt way longer. It just felt way longer. And
because the episodes are only 20 minutes each.
Yeah, maybe that was it. But then, they had the second season, and that one had a couple more breaks than the first season, mainly because there was less episodes, and I think at that point, Cartoon Network was like, we're going to cancel this and replace it with a crappier version of Teen Titans.
Yeah, because I remember Cartoon Network announcing canceling Young Justice Season 2 shortly right after it started airing.
Yeah, they were talking about doing that, but they finished Season 2.
They finished. Yeah, they said they were gonna let the season finish out, but then that's it. That's gonna be the last of it. The main thing though is with these animation styles, especially with Young Justice, it's more expensive to make than something like Teen Titans Go.
Yeah, but
because the way Young Justice is made, it's actually drawn, whereas Teen Titans Go it's animated on it. It's 2D animation.
Yeah, it just annoyed me because one, you canceled a really good show that was doing really well, and had a really big fan base. And you replaced it with a show
that's aimed for preschoolers but has content that's not supposed to be for preschoolers.
That, and it like made fun of an older show, like a show that was actually really good.
It tainted the original Teen Titans show, and they even brought Young Justice into Teen Titans Go.
Yes, and they made fun of that for being too serious. And I'm like, it was a good thing it was serious, guys. I mean, like all the Cartoon Network shows are really starting to turn into, stupid.
I hear Adventure Time is ending soon.
That's the last good show Cartoon Network has.
I think after 2 more seasons and then it's over.
Well, that and Ninjago. I'm just like
Ninjago's ending.
Ninjago is still going on. I didn't even know it was still going on.
Oh yeah, no, it was season 2 finale. It seemed like it, pretty good finale. But no, I watched season 3. I had emotions.
I know season 3 Ninjago. I was like, hey, this is really good, and then. I couldn't find any more episodes for a while, so I just stopped, and I didn't even know what happened to it.
No, there was a big gap between season 2 and 3.
Yeah, and then and then all of a sudden, I was on the internet the other day, and I was like, hey, I want to look up the Ninjago theme song, and that was pretty catchy. And it was like, Ninjago opening for season 6. I'm like, season 6?
Seasons? Wait, are they on season 6?
They're on season 6. I think they might be finishing soon, and going on to season 7.
Okay, so maybe there wasn't a gap. It was just a gap in releases then.
Yeah,
because season 2 was out for a long time, and then season 3 came out. So it must be still airing then.
Yeah, this is apparently what they've gone to. Season 1 was with the snakes.
Season 2 kind of continued. That was like
it's the snakes, but it had the dark Garmadon.
Garmadon, yeah.
Yeah, it had the dark Overlord or whatever.
Yeah, and season 3 was like the cyber world.
Yeah, the cyber technology and all that. Season 4 apparently you want me to spoil season 3 ending for you?
Well, I mean, I already seen the season 3 ending.
Oh, so you know what happened?
I know what happens. So I had emotions when I saw it.
I know. I was like,
I'm like a Lego show.
I know.
It's giving me emotions.
I was like, what? You can't do that. You can't kill a character. So season 4, apparently, they had some kind of world tournament or whatever, and they introduced more ninjas with more powers. And created, more characters for the team.
Alright.
And then season 5, they introduced ghosts, which you think wouldn't work, but it actually did apparently.
Yeah.
And they learned a whole other way to do their ninjutsu, spinjutsu. And now it's air jutsu too, so they can spin in the air or whatever. And things happened.
Lego Ninjago. It sounds like a concept that's it's just going to be a fun comedy for kids.
Yeah.
But then you watch it, it's it's a fun comedy for kids, but it also has a really great plot line to go with it.
They had a great story. Season 4 had another major death, apparently, and it was just whoa.
Surprisingly, it's not one of those shows that's too scared to break barriers.
Yeah.
It's just no, there's a brick wall ahead of us. Cool, let's just ram right through it.
Right. And then season 6 apparently dealt with a bit of time travel again. Right. And it dealt with it's
one of those shows that you can throw anything at it and it'll work.
Yeah, it really worked. And the whole thing, I found out it was supposed to be about pirates, and I'm like, what did time travel to do with pirates? Mm-hmm. But then I looked it up, and I looked up what the season was about. I was like, whoa, this got deep and dark. Apparently one of the ninja got turned into a ghost because he didn't make it out of this temple in fast enough. Mm-hmm. And so he died. Mm-hmm. And came back as a ghost, and I'm like, he's forever a ghost. I'm like, dude, you kind of just killed the character.
Oh no.
I mean, yeah, you brought him back as a ghost, but he can't do anything anymore.
Yep. Except give wise words of wisdom.
But he's young, and he's not very wise.
Well, he'll get wiser with age and time. Well, not age, but time.
I'm just like, dude, I mean, you can't do anything anymore.
I don't think that was someone knocking.
I like the wind. But yeah, Ninjago got deep and dark. Mm-hmm. So I didn't realize it was a season 6, and I think season 7 is coming soon. But I
didn't even realize it was that far ahead. So I can't wait for that all to come on Netflix.
The cover music though has been really good.
Ooh.
They've been made different covers for after season 2. They changed up the covers for the music or whatever, and this third one had a little more techno vibe to it. Mm-hmm. Season 4 had kind of a jungle beat to it or whatever. Season 5 had another techno beat, but it was more eerie sounding. And then season 6 was You know that song, What Do You Do With a Drunken Sailor?
Yeah.
It kind of had, like, kind of that to it.
Oh.
Like a sea shanty almost. And I was like, this is actually kind of funny. I'm like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard, but it's so fun to listen to. It's kind of like the song Ben was listening to the other week.
Oh, the one from Trolls.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't know why this makes me so happy. But it does. And I'm like, I don't know why. What's going on with myself? But yeah, it's I don't know what happened. I need to watch that again. See what happened.
I want to show Ben Trolls.
I want to see Trolls now too, because you made it sound like it actually was good.
It was good. No, the main problem with Trolls is that there's not a clear villain, which is strange for a kids movie.
Yeah,
especially one that's fantasy based.
Yeah,
but because the quote unquote villain that they had, she had motive per se. She did have motive, but she also you kind of had to feel sympathy for her because she was just doing what she thought was right.
Yeah,
it's not like she was really a villain. It's more like no, she was just someone just kind of doing what her culture did.
Let me ask: did she die at the end?
Kind of.
See, another thing with kids' movies, they decide to kill hey, we don't want to kill anyone major in the movie, but let's kill all the villains.
I mean, there are times where you thought they killed someone in the movie, but it's it turns out there was a huge plot twist.
Yeah. I will say this. One kids movie I did like what they did with the How to Train Your Dragon. Yeah. Because they weren't afraid to kill anyone.
They weren't. That's why I love the How to Train Your Dragon series. Just these movies are actually, legitimately good movies.
I read this one post. It was so DreamWorks decides to build up a character for a whole movie and 2 seasons of a TV show. Then comes back in the movie years later. He's trying to help out his son. Finds out his wife, who he thought died, is back alive. Starts to have a happy family again. Then in the middle of war, gets killed by his son's best friend. And son weeps over dead body.
I haven't seen the show.
I'm just kids will love it.
How is the show?
I never watched the show either. Okay. So I have no idea. But apparently the show was pretty good.
I heard it was good. I watched a little bit of the one that came on Netflix, which takes place after How to Train Your Dragon 2. Mm-hmm. And that one seemed decent too. But I never got around to finishing it. Yeah. But How to Train Your Dragon. Did you know those were based on books?
No, I didn't know.
Well, the books are awful, so don't read them.
I was like, wait, they have books on this? Maybe I'll know.
No, don't do it. No, because I hate it when people say and preach no, the book is always better than the movie. Well, did you read that? Did you read the How to Train Your Dragon books? Those were books. I'm yeah, they sucked.
Not every time is the book better than the movie. Not every.
No, time. Definitely Jurassic Park is based on a book, and the movie is way superior.
It's based on a book?
Yes, I'm gonna blow your mind and tell you things that are based on books. You're just what? The Prestige is based on a book, but the book sucks.
Can I flip a table? I need a table to flip.
I know how much you love The Prestige. I'm telling you now, it's based on the book.
It's based on the book. I mean, yeah, The Prestige was a great movie.
The movie's better than the book.
Okay, I can live with that.
Hunger Games: Catching Fire. People might hate me for saying this, but the movie was better.
I agree with that.
I thought the movie executed it a lot better than the book did.
The movie did better with Catching Fire. With the book, I have to say the first book did better than the movie.
There was a plot line they dropped for the movie. I think that was saying that Katniss was pregnant. Oh no, they established in the movie she's pregnant, but then they didn't really care. Oh no, you can't do that because you're pregnant.
They didn't follow it as much. Follow through with it as much.
But I mean, I was kind of okay with that though.
And then everyone can agree the third book.
I haven't read the third book. I've seen Mockingjay Part 1 and hated my life watching it.
Part 2 was way better. I'll say that.
I heard it was a lot. I heard even Part 2 was really rushed.
Yeah, it was really rushed because I'm they got through a good gist of it in Part 1.
Well, Part 1 was only 1/3 of the book. I think. That's what I said.
Here's the thing. Part 1 somehow worked as a movie by itself, but it still.
No, it didn't.
I think it worked because they showed some stuff that did, it was still dull and it was still.
It was dull, and they kept going back and repeating scenes.
Yeah, they kept doing that, and it was but I'm surprised they actually pulled it off.
They didn't pull it off for me. I'm just it's just for me it barely held together.
It worked for me, but it didn't 100% work. It was decent, but it wasn't perfect. Mm-hmm. Part 2, on the other hand, while it was rushed, it was really good, especially with the fights, because it was like mostly action in that one.
I still don't know how it ended, and honestly, I kind of got to a point where I didn't care anymore.
I don't want to.
I think that's sad as a franchise goes.
Yeah, like here's the thing. Part 1 was like deathmatch. Part 2 was politics plus deathmatch.
Mm-hmm. And then Mockingjay Part 1, which was politics / revolution / love story.
Right, and then the Part 2 of it in the movies. Part 2 is literally just action war movie. That's literally what it is. Mm-hmm. The Part 1 of it is literally just like politics, filming, documentaries. Maybe you shot.
Bloopers of the movie, inside the movie, meta humor.
I'm sorry, there's just one scene where like she shoots 2 planes down, like her and Gale, and then it crashes, and they blame the Capitol for blowing up the hospital. I'm like, no, you clearly shot those 2 planes down, and they flew into the hospital. Mm-hmm. Like that was all you, Katniss. That was all your fault. And she goes like, "This is the Capitol's fault." I'm like,
well, I mean, if the Capitol hadn't come in and tried to kill them.
I mean, but still, it's like, really? And then I'm like, so this is true evidence of what the media does. They take whatever they find, no matter how wrong it is, and just go like, you know what? This is what happened.
This is my side of the story, even though I'm the one that caused the problem.
Right. I'm just like, what? You clearly blew that up.
I mean, wait, I can't remember that scene. Were they going to destroy the hospital anyway?
I mean, they were trying to bomb Katniss. That's what their entire...
I mean, would have destroyed the hospital anyway, I think.
Yeah. But I mean, like, Katniss just, like, basically is like, this was their fault. And I'm like...
Wait a second.
No. I mean,
Wait a second.
Yeah, they were planning on bombing it, but still.
No, hold on. So, they had the bombs inside their planes then, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the planes crashed. Why didn't the bombs explode?
Another perfectly good question. Like, why didn't the bombs explode?
So they sent those to bomb Katniss, and then they exploded.
I mean, they didn't explode bombs. They didn't explode midair. It was like the arrows hit a wing. The wing flew into the other plane. Both planes flew back.
But both planes exploded.
Then they didn't explode in the sky. They just crashed and
they crashed and exploded.
Yeah.
So did the bombs explode?
Apparently not, then. Yeah, because it just blew up the building, but it didn't, like, do a huge boom. Okay, yeah, good plot hole.
Logic.
Just like, hey guys, I think bombs would have created a bigger explosion. Probably knocked them off the top of that
Especially if there were 2 bombs.
I mean, like, yeah, it was like 2 bomber planes. I'm just like, yeah, they should be, if not dead, knocked off the building, and then a concussion.
So yeah, that's a plot hole in Mockingjay Part 1 right there.
Yep. Any other plot holes we can think about in movies?
Well, you see...
Well, we're not going to discuss this.
What movie? What was? Oh no, I was watching Sense8. So yeah, I'm like, I have 3 episodes left of Sense8. Been watching with Ben, and I've been having questions.
Just like, what?
It's more like, it's not like the whole thing. Oh, what's going on? Like, no, I can totally understand what's going on. It's just more like, so like Sense8 is a story of 8 people who have like kind of a connected mind where they can connect with each other and like meet each other in their own in 2 areas at once, or like, you know, they can communicate or like get their own, you know, adapt or like learn a new language that the other person knows, and stuff like that. So they do these things called visits where they just mentally visit each other. But then there's this one scene where this guy mentally visits this girl, and he's like, "Hey, give me your phone." And then she hands him the phone, and then he puts in his phone number. Just like, what? That doesn't work. Like, that doesn't work because he's not actually physically there to touch the phone and grab it and put his number in.
I'm guessing maybe it's like he put the number in her mind. I mean, like, and
then like she typed it. But like, no, but like if it's just show. But like, he just like, there's like, he put his phone number in because they're like on opposite ends of the world, and like this is their kind of like a first time meeting each other. Mm-hmm. He's like, "There's no way you should know this number," and then he types his number in, and then.
You handed the phone back?
Yeah, the phone back.
I'm wondering, like, what did it look like it was still in the real world, or was like some white area? Or
No, because like they have the conversation taken in 2 places at once. One where the guy is, one where the girl is. Mm-hmm. So like they just basically just like go back and forth between shots.
I'm assuming maybe like he put it in and like wait, like when she handed it to him, like did he?
He actually grabbed the phone and put his number in, and then handed it back.
That's kind of weird.
It's weird, and it doesn't make sense. Because they're just mentally linked to each other. They're not physically in that area.
I'm gonna assume they want to explain it as he put it in her mind and then she just happened to type it out.
I don't know,
like
man.
the way they played it out is just like no.
Yeah, and then there's this one part where like a guy just randomly walks into this guy's apartment living room. I'm just like, wait, it hasn't established them as roommates or anything. He probably just like walked right into the apartment and just like, hey man, what's up?
Just like, okay, why not?
Why not? So yeah, it's either like missing establishing points or it just has legitimate plot holes. But I enjoy Sense8 so far. Don't get me wrong; it's a good show so far. But some of it just doesn't make sense.
I'll tell you a show I wanted to finish watching that I never got to finish because I came here. Mm-hmm. Dead of Summer. Did you ever hear of that?
I've heard it. Wait, is that the one with the guy from Diary of a Wimpy Kid?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah, it was, like, okay, I'll say this. While it had a couple, like, missed flaws and everything, it was actually really good.
Is it a zombie show?
No, it's not. Well, I don't know. I never got past.
Is it like a summer camp zombie show?
It's like, okay, so a couple of teenagers are, like, counselors in a summer camp, right?
Yeah.
And so, like...
Wet Hot American Summer.
Don't remind me of that. But they go to the summer camp, and, they're preparing to go to the summer camp, and they each have their own dark past, and they're trying to escape.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, you would think, wow, all these teenagers are
when
that
you say dark past, how dark are we talking?
Okay, it varies. Like, one girl's dark past, like, she accidentally, like, she would try to rebel against her parents, like, go have fun or whatever, and be friends with someone, and she ended up getting her killed, and so she blamed herself for that.
Wait, getting her friend killed?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and another person's dark past is, like, he's Russian, and there was this dude who didn't really like Russians, and, like, he wronged his father or whatever, so he was back to, like, get revenge, but not, like, murder or anything, just, like, ruin his life and make him go out of business. I'm like, okay, so you got things like that. There's another guy who's transgender. Uh-huh. Like, well, he's a girl, but she, like, believes she's a guy, so she's, like, transgender girl. And so I saw her pass. Another girl who's, like, her father was having an affair, and she didn't feel good about herself, because she was already, like, overweight, and, she didn't think guys would like her. Mm-hmm. So her mother's like, guys will still like you. So then she told her mother about the affair, and it was like, oh, yeah, that's what happens with girls like us. And she, like, didn't feel good about herself. So she kind of almost starved herself. But, like, it's like they each have their dark, like, those are just minor teenage problems, right?
Some of them are minor.
Yeah. And then there's the guy who can see there's this guy haunting him.
Oh.
And I'm like, okay, so you got, like, hey, I'm dealing with my overweight issues and, family problems. There's a guy
still within the bounds of realism, but,
it's dealing with racism. And then there's I can see my old ancestor who's actually, like, almost possessed by the devil. I was like, why not? Like, his brother committed suicide over seeing, like, he was getting haunted by him for so long.
Oh, so he was just next in line.
Yeah, I was like, okay. Like, he literally, and the worst part was, his brother saw him during his prom. Like, he was, like, about to go to this prom, and then the guy wouldn't leave him alone for so long, and so he ended up killing himself. And he leaves the message, he won't leave me alone. So his brother, like, was, like, young. He was, like, grade school or whatever. So, he's, like, he looked at his brother. He's like, my brother's okay. He's perfect. And he's dead. And he's like, and so then the same thing happened to him at his prom. And I'm just like, it's a dark show. And it just keeps getting darker. And there's overarching plot with the camp. Mm-hmm. And, you don't know what's going on with the camp. And
kids mysteriously go missing.
Worse than that.
Oh.
Okay, I'll say this. That show, there's the main cast, right?
Yeah.
They were not afraid to kill anyone.
Oh.
Like, they were not afraid. They killed, within 5 episodes, killed 2 main characters.
Oh.
And I was like, the second episode they killed the main character. And I was just like,
I want to watch this.
Whoa. Like, I did not see it coming. Like, and the second episode, I was like, what just happened? And I didn't understand what happened. Next episode or 2 you see, they confirm that dude is dead. And I'm just like, what? I'm like, they actually killed him? I thought he just, like, got carried away. What?
Oh, man.
And then another episode, like, they just tease it, like, hey, if you don't do this, someone's gonna die. And I was like, hey, no one died. And then it gets to the one point, and literally out of nowhere, and the way they killed her was so horrible. It was with, like, she just felt like she got pushed back into a bear trap, and the bear trap clamped around her head.
Ew.
And they don't care about gore. They are gory as they
wow.
can be. I was just like, what?
This sounds like the setting of a cheesy 80s movie.
It takes place in the 80s.
Oh,
so yeah, it's like a horror movie.
It's an 80s. It's a 80s horror movie, but apparently it's made really well.
Yeah, it's done really well. It had a good plot. I never got to finish it because I came to college. I didn't have DVR and I couldn't find the channel.
Aww.
So I was upset. I was like, no, I didn't get to finish it. And my parents stopped recording it at home to make room for other shows. And I was like, no, I can't even go back home and finish it.
Gotta make room for Law and Order.
I was just like, no. So I was I was all sad about it. I was like, I gotta find, if they ever release it on DVD, I'm buying it.
Well, they probably would.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish that series because that was that. I need to know what happened because the scene where they had just done you think the bad guy was dead, but then apparently they said they weren't.
Spoilers.
That's what you thought
from the get go.
Yeah,
from the start of the show in the pilot.
Oh no.
No, okay, spoilers.
Maybe. My bad.
Yeah.
It was a good show. Just
that sounds really
Dead of Summer.
Okay, so have you noticed a trend? It's been going on for years. I feel like in the past 5 years now or something. Of 80s pop culture coming back to our pop culture for sure. You got Guardians of the Galaxy with 70s and 80s music.
Oh yeah.
You got Stranger Things, which is basically 80s nostalgia horror, which is really good. We're gonna watch that at some point.
Yes.
Like you said, Dead of Summer.
Takes place all in the 80s.
Takes place in the 80s. It's just but there's 80s reboots and remakes and stuff like that too. It's becoming super popular.
Right.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. Maybe it's because that was kind of the golden age of America.
I wouldn't say this 80s.
Golden age, but not a golden age, but it had some good times. Pop culture at least. It was a good time.
Well, the way with the movies were in the 80s, if you talk to cinemas, people who study cinema, it's the 80s are considered the blockbuster years.
Yeah, a lot of classics came from that year.
The way a blockbuster is, you just know what if we had a guy that turned into a robot, RoboCop?
Right. It was just
they just basically came up with weird ideas and just made it work.
And now we have Pacific Rim.
And now we have Sharknado.
Right.
What about tornadoes and sharks? They call it Sharknado, but it's actually a hurricane.
I'm just after we made a guy turn into a RoboCop, we can just do anything, guys. I'm come on, we have an ogre.
We made Arnold Schwarzenegger an android that came from the future.
I mean,
and called him a Terminator, and it worked.
It's all these ideas that I when you're just posting them in the board, you guys, this is my idea. It's really, man? And then you just watch,
and then you write the script, and it's oh, okay.
It's okay, this is good, and you just watch it out on the screen. You're how did this become pop culture? I saw this one interview with elders reacted to Star Wars: The Force Awakens or whatever. And so they were talking about hey, when you saw the first Star Wars, everything is going to become a classic, a cult classic, and they're no. I mean, I just went to go see it, and I was hey, this was cool. And then they came out a second movie, and then I was there's a second movie? And then the third movie, they were wow, this was great. This was a great thing. And then the prequels came out, and they never saw
everyone's
them.
ah!
No, they just didn't see them. Some of them didn't see them, or if they did see them, they saw them with grandchildren, and the grandchildren loved them, so they loved them.
So the thing with Star Wars, when the original Episode 4 came out, the studio did not think that was going to make it.
Oh yeah,
it's they were if you watch the original trailer, they were setting that movie up to fail.
How bad was the trailer?
Well, the trailer, it says it's a story about a young boy and a princess and the galaxy. It's wow, this sounds like a romance. This sounds like a romantic subplot that should not happen.
If they had actually followed through on that romantic subplot, that would have been weird.
No, apparently, but George Lucas is kind of weird though.
I mean, I'm glad they resolved that. Hey, you didn't realize you kissed your brother once.
They didn't resolve it at all.
I mean, like, they should have just been, like, I wish in the, like...
Tumblr resolved it. Have you seen the video of when when Princess Leia tells Han Solo, like, he's my brother? And then it just got, like, music playing in the background and, like, a flashback.
It's like, girl. No, I'm just like, I wish in the extended universe when they had the books out and those were actually canon, it should have been like, hey, remember that one time we kissed? Like, we never speak of that. We never speak of it ever.
Wait, did their story continue on after Return of the Jedi?
Yeah, like they had an extended universe where they fixed the Republic up as much as they can. Mm-hmm. They went through Han and Leia's marriage. Luke got married too.
All right.
Han and Leia had 3 kids. They had a set of twins, Jason and Jaina. And then they had a 3rd son who they named Anakin. And, well, I mean, these aren't canon anymore, so spoiler alert. Anakin, there's a war that happens or whatever. Oh, and Luke and his wife Mara, who actually was a bounty, some kind of bounty hunter or whatever, who was hunting them down to kill them. Uh-huh. And somehow they ended up falling in love. I need to read that story because I'm just like, she was trying to kill you the whole time? Like, somehow you guys fell in love, but okay. And they had a son named Ben because, Ben's
a great name.
Ben Kenobi. And, yeah, Ben's a great name. Wouldn't you agree, Ben?
He's not here yet. He's probably still eating.
Probably.
Or everyone's overeating at the dining hall and he's just talking.
Yeah. So they have this war that happens. The spoiler alert: Chewbacca dies.
I know that.
Yeah, it's saving Anakin, and then Anakin dies, saving the galaxy from the enemy or whatever. And so that kind of left everyone in a sour mood. And it turns out Luke's wife is dying from a disease that was spread during the war. It turns out Han and Leia's other son, Jason, turns to the dark side. Ends up killing his aunt, Luke's wife, and then he and his twin sister have a duel to the death. Mind you, Jason is also Ben's master, and so hey, my cousin's my apprentice. Ends up almost killing his apprentice, and then he has to fight his twin sister to the death, and he gets killed, and it's just like, whoa, Star Wars.
So the extended universe, would you say that constitutes for another 3 movies?
It could have been another 3 movies. Mm-hmm. That entire thing could have been a whole another 3 movies, but they decided to go with Force Awakens and all that. So, it's a different concept. And people are like, I know there was a lot of speculation over whether Chewbacca was going to die in Force Awakens, because they were like, they're going to follow the thing, but instead, they switched it up here.
They switched it up a little bit, and I think it's still considered spoilers until next year.
Yeah, true. Watch Rogue One, then when
it comes to spoilers like that, I usually try to wait a year after the theater release.
That makes sense.
I'm sure everyone's seen it though.
I mean, if you haven't seen it, then you don't want to see it, or you are living under a rock.
I think even if you lived under a rock, you would know it exists.
Right. It's like you would have just heard from someone on the street, "Hey man, this happened in Star Wars."
You got your neighbor that's a mile away at his mountain. He's just like, "Hey, they made a new Star Wars."
He's like,
and you're just like, "Drew, shut up! I'm trying to get some sleep."
Just like, oh, do you remember the Brother Bear movie with the 2 goats keep yelling at their own echo? Or did you never see Brother Bear?
I've seen Brother Bear. I think you mean the moose.
No, it was 2 goats. They meet 2 goats.
Oh.
And they start yelling at their echoes.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know they made a second movie of that?
Yeah. It sucked.
I heard.
It made no sense.
That's usually what happens when those Disney movies.
They get Disney animated movies. The first one goes to theaters. The second one is a straight to DVD thing. It's just why did you make this?
Yeah, it's really bad.
Pocahontas 2.
Mulan 2 was decent.
I heard Mulan 2 was good. Was there a Mulan 3?
No.
No, there was a Cinderella 3.
Yeah.
That was not that bad.
I will say this. I think the only one that actually really, really did well, besides Tarzan 2,
Tarzan 2 was the one that went back to when he was a kid, right?
Yeah, which I was confused about for a second.
So why call it Tarzan 2? But
yeah,
who knows?
But hey, Lion King 2 was good.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say Lilo and Stitch.
Lilo and Stitch got 3 other movies, I think.
It was Lilo and Stitch.
Then they had Stitch the movie,
which went on to the series.
Yeah, which was basically the pilot of the TV show.
Yeah.
And then they had a TV show, and then there were like 2 TV movies in that.
Yeah, it was Lilo and Stitch 2, Stitch has a glitch where like
that
was programming or something.
And then there was like Leroy and Stitch.
Leroy and Stitch.
I haven't seen Leroy and Stitch.
That was also a good series. It was like kind of a big conclusion to the to Lilo and Stitch, the whole series and everything, because basically another clone was made. I think it was like 627 or something.
Yeah, no, there was already a 627.
Oh yeah,
it was like 628, I think. 628 or 629.
I can't remember which, but it was like his name was Leroy. It was like an evil version of Stitch, like an extremely evil version of Stitch. And so basically, they start rounding up all the experiments, like him and Gantu, but then like because he's working for Dr. Hamsterville
and 625.
Yeah, and so basically Gantu gets fired because this guy's doing so much better. Where Gantu failed for like an entire TV series. So like they go through this whole. So basically, Gantu gets fired. 625 goes with them because he's like hey man, I feel for you. I mean like this dude is crazy. So basically, they came up with Stitch and Lilo, and they save all the other experiments and try to rescue.
Hey, spoilers, man! You're getting too far into it.
I mean, like
Let's see, I don't know how much of the show that I watched. Do they have like an episode for each experiment?
I don't remember because if they did, it would have been a long.
I'm gonna look it up because I know there was like episodes that had like 2 experiments.
They either had 2 experiments or like some episodes might have skipped over experiments. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure there was not 625 or 24 episodes of this show.
Lilo and Stitch show
the series.
Google. Lilo and Stitch show the series? Is that what you wanted me to Google?
I was going to say Lilo and Stitch series is what it was called.
It has a 6.7 out of 10 on IMDb.
Screw IMDb. That was a good show. That was my childhood. They had a Kim Possible. And they had a Kim Possible crossover episode.
Oh yeah, I saw that one.
I was like, whoa, awesome! Kim Possible crossover episode.
Okay, Wikipedia, give me your knowledge.
That's back when crossover episodes were big. What?
Dean DeBlois was one of the co-creators of Lilo and Stitch. He's the guy who wrote and directed How to Train Your Dragon 2.
Oh.
He co-wrote the first one. I'm not sure if he directed the first one. I don't think so.
How many episodes did it have?
I'm looking 65 episodes, 2 seasons.
Yeah, definitely not 600 and something episodes.
So I might have watched like a good majority of that.
Yeah.
But I didn't see like the finale stuff.
Yeah, like it ended really
Okay,
well.
So Lilo and Stitch the movie, then it was a show, and then after that was Lilo and Stitch 2, and then Leroy and Stitch.
Yeah. I will say this.
Related shows. What's the related shows?
Kim Possible.
No, it's just called Stitch. What is it? I don't know. Apparently it was shown. Oh, it's Japanese.
Ah, that explains it.
But wait, what is this about? There's 29 episodes. This sounds like it's an anime. Is it an anime?
Anime of
Stitch is the anime spin-off of Disney's Lilo and Stitch franchise and a successor to Lilo and Stitch the series. It debuted in Japan on October 2000. Hey, 2008.
What?
The show features a Japanese girl named Yuna in place of Lilo. Oh, it's an alternate universe, I guess.
So basically, instead of
Lilo, it's Yuna. And it's set in a fictional island in the Ryukyus off the shore of Okinawa instead of Hawaii.
Okay, this is a bit too much.
The island is called Izayoi. The second arc of the original series, called Stitch, began airing in Japan. Okay, so it's like 2 seasons, I guess. Mm-hmm. Or it's a sequel series, whatever.
I don't think that's a sequel series, because why would he leave Hawaii? Remember, Ohana means family? Family means no one's getting left behind or something like that?
There's a TV special called Stitch and the Planet of Sand. Hold on. What is that? What? Okay, let's go to episode list. There's no episode list. Let's go to characters. Okay, Stitch is an alien from outer space. Age experiment 626.
Yeah.
Deed counts are made by Jumba. Okay, so everything's still the same.
Yeah, with him.
Yuna Kamihara. Yuna is a young Japanese girl, a tomboy at that, and is a 10-year-old 4th grade elementary school student. Apparently she reaches age 11 and goes to 5th grade. She lives in the fictional island.
I want to know what the animation for this show was like.
I'm gonna look it up in YouTube now. Stitch the series, episode 1, Japan.
You're like, okay, this happened. Yeah, they did things like this.
They did this with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
They had a live-action Japanese Spider-Man show where he had a Megazord or whatever it's called.
Nope.
Stitch. Wait, no, I'm not. Hold on. I went to the Google app instead of YouTube.
The only Spider-Man shows I ever watched was the one that came out in 1990s. I can't remember which. It was just Spider-Man.
Yeah, it was just called Spider-Man.
They had Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. I saw a couple episodes late at night, and I was just like, "This is stupid," but the kid in me loves it.
Ultimate Spider-Man?
No, Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. That thing with Iceman and Firestar, and I was like, "Cool."
It looks like you can watch it on YouTube.
What's the animation like?
I don't know.
What?
Okay, so Stitch looks normal, but everyone else is anime.
It's basically Asian Lilo.
Yeah, everyone. The character designs of the original stuff look the same. But
Yeah. That literally looks like an Asian Lilo.
I think that was the point.
Even has his girlfriend from the other one?
I hope there's English.
I don't think so. Wait, this show on Toon Disney? What?
In Japan.
Oh, in Japan.
Japan Disney Channel.
What a great way to start the show. And he can breathe in space.
He can breathe in space. Why not?
I mean, Jimmy Neutron, they can breathe in space, so why not?
Well, I mean, they actually questioned that, though, in Jimmy Neutron. And then because Sheen was like, Jimmy, why do we breathe in space without needing a helmet? Oh, well, you see. And then it cuts to Carl just singing about the moon. Wait, is this English? I wasn't paying attention. Oh, yeah, it's in English. The English dub, though.
Right, the English dub. It's horrible.
We need to watch this.
Right. Oh, now he closes the cockpit.
This is just the rest of the podcast, just us watching this. watching anime Stitch. Now we're in space. We were like, the animation.
You said this was egg salad. Why does it taste so much like
That voice! That voice!
Got a pretty sophisticated palate there, big guy. That's because I use local island fresh scorpion.
Why couldn't they use the actual voice actors to dub?
Right! The ones from the old show. I love how 625's complete purpose was just to make
Just to make sandwiches.
I'm just like, how is this evil? They're like, is sandwiches in space evil?
Does Stitch get a Megazord in this? That voice, man! It's so like it brings me back to like Dragon Ball Z
Right.
dubbing. They had the animation isn't as smooth as anime usually is.
Yeah.
Definitely the American show had a smoother animation.
Yeah.
But they kind of add anime expressions too.
Yeah. Very true.
So this is just an alternate version of Lilo and Stitch.
Yep. It's so much more faster, I guess.
Thank you, Wikipedia, for introducing me to this.
Right.
Now I can show my friend who's a little addicted to Lilo and Stitch and anime.
Who is it?
Just one of my friends.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you went here.
No, she doesn't really hear. That's how lasers work.
Right.
Alright, back to the podcast.
Okay, so folks, you just heard us listen to Stitch, the anime.
Yeah, you can find it on YouTube because I just YouTube searched Stitch anime episode 1, and it just brought me right to it.
Yeah, guys, watch it.
It'll change your life.
Oh god.
Like,
The voice dubbing.
The dubbing was awful.
Oh.
Yeah, it looks like they have all 26 episodes.
Oh god. That hurt.
I can't wait to watch this.
That really hurt.
That was interesting. So yeah, that was a thing.
I haven't heard that much awful dubbing since I don't even know when. I don't remember.
I mean, the original Dragon Ball had really bad original voice acting.
That's true. That's very true. God.
Was Dragon Ball even like well received in Japan?
I don't know.
I don't think it was.
I mean, the show is still going on. But
It was still going on, but I think it was better received in America than it was in Japan.
Because Americans just like stuff being punched through buildings and stuff.
America was dumb at a time, but now it's better with like the internet. Like like people are actually noticing. Hey, this anime from Japan is actually good. But most of the anime we watch is for kids anyway. Like Attack on Titan, that's still for kids in Japan. It's like. They categorize it as a shonen anime, and shonen in Japan means like for kids like ages 8 to 16.
See, I'm like, if that's for kids, then what's for adults?
Stuff like no. There was an anime I was thinking of. What was it? Death Note, I think no, that's still shonen.
Yeah, I was about to say that's
Death Note's still shonen.
If Attack on Titan is for kids, then Death Note is definitely for kids because Death Note is like. All he does, I mean, like,
He's just write down and
I'm just like, what kid has I'm like, kids in Japan must be super smart too, because they have some deep, emotional stuff going on there. I'm like, as a kid,
dude, have you ever met someone who's schooled in Japan? No, there's Japan's and China's school studies put ours to like.
To shame, I can't believe it.
Very much shame.
Because I'm like Americans, like I was engrossed in things like Kids Next Door, and that's just like looking back that show is like kind of ridiculous. And in Japan, I'm like, my kid watched Attack on Titan. I'm like, that's deep stuff.
Well, I mean, Attack on Titan is more like a young adult show. It's like however old the main character is of the anime, that's usually the target audience.
Okay.
So like how Ash is 10 years old in Pokemon, so Pokemon's more for 10-year-olds.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure Ash is immortal, so he might be 20,000.
Like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Edward's like 14.
Yeah.
So that's geared more towards 14-year-olds. But I know Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood was very well received in Japan.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
It was like one of the it was like the top.
Wait, which one?
Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Okay,
I know. Yeah, I know that was well received in Japan. I know the manga was like was in the top 30 of like the top sci-fi manga made. Mm-hmm. Fairy Tail, I think it is well received in Japan. I'm not sure though.
It is because they like have a lot of promotional stuff going on.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Like here's the thing with Americans. When they read the stuff, like sometimes they're just like, oh, this is so cool, but they don't express it as much. Like Japanese people are like so much more into it. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, like
it depends on who's dubbing it.
Like, I'll say this: not even with anime, with Bleach, how it ended, Americans were always disappointed, but apparently Japan was
just like, that's a thing that happened.
Yeah, okay.
Because like it's a kid show.
Yeah, I'm like that was a kid show, so like kids were like no, but like they're okay, but like. Anyone over here are just like, what? You can't do that.
Yeah, it's like, say, we have a show in America, like, let's say, trying to think of one that's like not that great.
There's like, not great and not great kids.
Like, Fairly Odd Parents. Like, we like it, but like, it's not like superb.
Yeah.
But so like, and then like, we give it to Japan. Japan dubs it, and then like, everyone watches it over there.
Oh no, and not everyone's gonna watch that. I can't tell you that. I'm pretty sure that's gonna be like for babies.
But let's put it in perspective though. Like that's the same thing that happens with us, especially with Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z was marketed in America as a kids show.
Well, yeah,
which is weird because it contains content that's not really for kids.
True.
Not as much as the original Dragon Ball though.
I'm just like, it's just like if we gave them our stuff, they would be like. This is the way Americans are dumb.
Well, Japan likes American pop culture.
Oh yeah,
they like Hollywood movies and Hollywood actors.
Which I can understand.
That's why with like Ghost in the Shell, they're just like totally, but like they're like totally cool if we screw up on it too.
Yeah, like I'm like they watched Dragon Ball Evolution.
I'm sure they did, and they're just like, well, Americans kind of stupid. But Ghost in the Shell, I think they're okay with it. Godzilla, I think they liked it, even though that was a terrible movie.
See, Attack on Titan, the live action movie, I'm pretty sure they enjoyed it, but Americans were kind of like, what?
I don't know if they enjoyed that one.
I don't know.
I know America hated it.
Yeah, America definitely hated it, but like...
I'm willing to give it a shot.
From the trailers, I was like, yeah, it looks pretty cool, but I'm like, probably from actually watching the movie. Like, and
I
people,
saw it on sale recently. Is that part 1 and part 2? Or is it just part 1?
I don't know.
Because I know it was like movie split into 2, and then they had like a live action TV series that bridged the gap.
Yeah, and I'm hearing stuff like, we might make a Naruto or Bleach live action movie, and I'm like, please don't. Because, I mean, like, some of the...
That's a lot of source material to go through.
There's a lot of source material. It's also because, like, with Attack on Titan, they got away with it with everyone. I'm not saying there's nothing you can't... But, like, a lot of things in anime, all the characters are white-looking.
Well, yeah, no, because, like, that's what confuses me about anime. Where just, like, people... Like, with Ghost in the Shell, people are like, oh... You know, the main character, she's Japanese, but you look at that, you watch the anime, it's like she looks white.
Yeah,
like, and also she's an android, so it doesn't matter. She can be whatever. She's not technically any race. She's an android.
But like in Bleach, everyone is specifically they're specifically like a Hispanic kid there because like he speaks Spanish. Like all of his attacks are in Spanish. Then there's a German kid, and you know like everything in his background is specifically German, and it's just like all these different things, and it's like you can't, like it's gonna be weird if it's just like, hey, we have a bunch of Asian people, like the main character specifically has orange hair, and yeah, I've seen Japanese people with like different colored hair, but it's gonna be like it's gonna
look weird.
Yeah, it's gonna look weird. You're not
with Attack on Titan. I mean, they kind of fixed it. I heard they fixed it in the live action version. Like they explained why everyone was Japanese. Mm-hmm. But like in the anime, you know, Japanese, like it was rare to be like, you know, purely one race. Like everyone was mostly mixed race and mostly white. Full Metal Alchemist, that takes place in Germany. It's been established, like the Elrics are German. Yeah, but Japan's making a live action movie of that, and like it's an all Japanese cast, but it's still taking place in Europe. So like that's a little weird. Yeah, that's. I mean, like honestly, I'll still try to watch it.
Like he's gonna have blonde hair, pulled back in a ponytail. I'm just gonna be like, that doesn't look right, dude.
I'll still watch it.
I'm not sure if I would. It depends.
I love Full Metal Alchemist enough to where I would watch it.
The only show I would have accepted all these like things with it is Last Airbender, because I'm like that would have been the perfect show to have done all like with
everyone Japanese,
except for the Water Nation because they are technically black. You saw the show; they're all black.
I haven't seen the show.
Oh, what?
I haven't seen the show.
Okay, people, we might have to end this podcast, and I'm about to kill Kevin.
I've seen bits and pieces of the show.
How have you not?
But I have not seen the show.
You don't even have to be an anime fan. You just have to be an American.
Yeah, because it's an American anime.
You just need to be an American. People in Japan know what The Last Airbender is. People in America know what The Last Airbender is.
I saw the movie. It sucked.
The movie sucked. And you started with the movie?
I had nothing to compare the movie with. I'm like, wow, this movie sucks. I hope the show is better.
At least
then I never watched the show.
At least you recognize the movie sucked, even without having watched the show.
Without having nothing to compare it to, it's like, yeah, this as a movie sucks.
That's good, because if you watch the show, like us having been fans of the show and watching the show in its full entirety, and watching that movie, I wanted to kill M. Night Shyamalan.
I heard Legend of Korra ended.
Legend of Korra didn't end.
But it's coming back in the comic, I think.
Yeah, because they did the same thing with Last Airbender, because it ended, and then they had, like, you know, kind of the bits and pieces concluding in comic. Like, there was one story where you find out what happened to Zuko's mom, and there was another story where Aang is, like, actually having to do Avatar duties because Zuko like made him make a promise, hey, if I start to end up like my dad, I need you to kill me. Like, don't take my bending away. Kill me. Mm-hmm. And Aang was like, I'll try. And
I'll try my best.
And Zuko almost did. Like, he started like, you know, doing some evilish stuff. And, you know, Aang was straight up about to like kill him. Mm-hmm. And it was only because Katara jumped in the way. I was like, oh, okay. But Korra, it ended well. They dealt with a lot more serious issues in Korra.
Was Legend of Korra only 2 seasons?
4. It was actually supposed to be a 1 season type thing. Like, it was supposed to only have 12 episodes, 1 season. Like, kind of like, hey, this is kind of like a conclusion to Last Airbender. Here's a little, you know, thing for you. But then it somehow got turned into 4 seasons. And the thing that messed that up was, like, that first season ended pretty well. Mm-hmm. With terms of, like, story or whatever. Like, it felt rushed, but then I realized, oh, it's supposed to be a 1 season thing. So I was like, okay, I can live with that, I guess. Mm-hmm. Like, they concluded everything perfectly, but then the problem was they killed their villain, because it was supposed to be an end of thing.
Yeah.
So then they decided, hey, we're gonna make another season. So that means they had to come up with a whole nother villain.
Mm-hmm.
So they came up with a whole nother villain, and this villain seemed badass.
Mm-hmm.
And then he ended up dying, and then they did the third season, and they killed most of the villains in there, left one alive. Fourth season, they didn't kill the villain at the end. I mean, they just arrested this one. I'm like, whoa, you didn't kill him this time?
Whoa, hey now,
I'm
where's the violence?
I know, you gotta kill him, dude. I mean, you can't just let him live. No,
we gotta show kids violence.
I'm just like, I find it funny how Aang had this whole moral debate over 3 seasons, just like, should I kill this guy? Can I kill this dude? Will it work with my moral? And the court just like, death, 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 death. I'm just like, the way people die sometimes.
Just
like,
handing out death like cupcakes.
Like, there's one girl who had there was another character in the previous show who they ended up killing, but, you know, it was less, like, you know, brutal.
Yeah.
Like, because this guy could shoot, like, exploding, like, power or whatever. So, you know, it was like he could firebend, but with his mind, and exploded whenever it contacted anything.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, the way they killed him, he got stunned, and then it ended up backfiring and blowing him up. It was like, it wasn't that brutal. It just like the entire area exploded, and you just see his metal arm flying away. So you're like, oh yeah, he's dead. Korra, on the other hand, they're fighting Korra and some metal benders. One of the metal benders like ducking behind the rock, and so he starts aiming for the other one.
Wait, there's metal benders?
Yeah, the Earthbenders learn how to metal bend.
Oh, okay.
You have to watch the series. But they basically, she pops out the rock while the girl has her back turned, shoots her armor across it and wraps it around her head just as she's about to fire.
Oh.
And if you can guess what happens, it explodes within the shell around her head, and she blows up. And you're just like,
is there blood in this show?
I mean, there's no blood. They didn't show any blood. It's just like you just know what happened because it goes like, and then it goes, and then like it's like a quick beam of light, and then you see the main villain turn around. He's like, and that was his girlfriend. He's just like, no, and I'm just like. And all you saw was like her body, and you just see a smoke coming from where her head was, and you're just like,
whoa.
I'm just like, damn. Like, I'm just like, they killed characters, a lot of people. There was an evil airbender who literally sucked the oxygen out of someone.
Uh-huh.
There was a lot of electrocution. There was a bomb. There was the spirit of someone getting their literal spirit ripped out of them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just like, it was Legend of Korra went way darker than what Last Airbender was. Like, Last Airbender was fun and had everything. Legend of Korra had PTSD.
Oh. Okay.
So I'm like, PTSD. I think there was suicide at one point. Yeah, there was suicide.
I know. It got darker. It like handled a lot more like serious topics.
They also did like gay, like, you know,
LGBT
and all that. So I was like, well then. Legend of Korra, dealing with all the tough issues of the world right now. Political structure. I mean, they did a lot of politics too. I'm like,
politics. The greatest thing that's ever happened this week.
But yeah, it was kind of like just like, hey, I mean, we know the kids who used to watch Last Airbender are now older, so we'll give them the older stuff. But I'm like, if any kids are watching this, they're like, what is happening? And I'm like, I guess maybe they realize, hey, kids are desensitized to violence because Call of Duty is a big thing. You got 12-year-olds telling me they're gonna rape my mother.
Oh, okay. Well, you see, I was never a Call of Duty kid.
I wasn't. I never played it online.
I haven't played online. It's more like I played like
with friends or something. Like
I played. Well, my dad likes Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm.
I play the games. I'm just like, this is boring. I'd rather be doing something else in my life, like playing Portal 2 or like something more interesting.
No, I never bought the games. I just like whenever I went over to my friend's house, they might occasionally have it. I'm like, hey, this is good multiplayer to play with some friends.
No, Lego Star Wars 2. That was my multiplayer jam.
That was a multiplayer. Okay, for the longest, me and my friend played that whenever he had a GameCube, and I was like hooked on that game every time we played. But my brother wanted to play, my older brother, and so he was like, you know, a toddler. Mm-hmm. So we had a third controller. So we plugged it but not all the way in, and for the longest he was just like, yeah, you're that character on the screen, and we just kept playing, and he's like, yeah, and then finally he got old enough to realize, I'm not playing.
His whole world shattered.
He finally realized that when he was pulling and one playing, he's like, he's not doing what I wanted him to do. Like, yeah, you're doing it. It's fine. You're okay. And then he was like, it's not working. And he finally realized that, and we're like, dang it, we can't keep the illusion anymore. What do we do? and that was when we actually had to let him play. But that plan worked for the longest, and then the other brother came, and we did the same thing again.
Hashtag younger siblings.
It's the great thing about being an older sibling because you realize smart stuff.
Oh yeah, I know. I have 4 younger siblings, so I totally know how that process works.
It's like, yeah, you're totally doing it.
Yeah, it's like they were like I would be playing with my Xbox controller. My brother also has an Xbox controller, but my toddler brother, he's got a PS2 controller.
You're like, yeah,
you're totally you're totally rocking at Minecraft, man.
Like, why does my controller look different? Because it's the cool controller right there.
It's the cool one.
That's the one that has the more stuff. It's like, okay, I got this. It's like,
although my siblings are actually really smart.
Yeah, my siblings are not.
Like, my youngest sibling, he's 2 years old. My youngest brother, he's 2 years old. But like, even like before he was 2 years old, he realized, oh, this PS2 controller is not the same thing.
See, my brother...
He was like 1.5 when he figured that out.
My brother didn't figure it out until he was like well into grade school and just like finally realized, hey, this controller isn't working. Mm-hmm. So yeah, the second brother, the youngest brother, figured out way shorter, which kind of like says a lot about us. I'm the smart one. The middle one is like, he's stronger. At least like he's more athletic. Mm-hmm. And then the middle one, he's not as smart, but he's smarter than the middle one occasionally. I have a feeling he's going to become a scientist, although he says he's not.
Oh.
Yeah, a little bit fact about my brothers. In case you guys are listening, my brothers, sorry. I love you both.
He insulted you.
I did not insult you.
When you see him on Thanksgiving, give him a big punch right in the face.
you don't do that. Just don't. Kevin,
this is your master speaking.
Kevin, you're giving them bad advice. Advice that cannot be healthy for their lives.
That's me. Bad advice, Kevin. I'm a meme now.
Yeah, so you guys, you are listening to our podcast every week. Don't listen to anything Kevin says.
Kevin is crazy. He goes to school to study film. I mean, who does that?
I know, right? Who does that? You become film. You become popular.
Sure. Whatever you say, Ryan.
It worked that way. All right, what time are we at?
I don't know.
My gosh, we're at an hour and 7 minutes.
Hour and 7 minutes. We didn't even get to my stuff yet. But are you done with your stuff?
Oh, snap, what happened?
We just got sidetracked by watching Lilo and Stitch the anime.
Okay, Kevin, what did you... Oh, God.
This week, well, I didn't do much of anything until someone's having fun in the next door, watching sports. But yeah, yesterday I got my homework done. I'm just like, I'm just gonna binge read the 5th book of the Dresden Files. I was 40% through it already. Mm-hmm. So like, I just read I finished reading it like just a couple hours ago. Really good installment to the series. If you guys haven't been listening to me talk about this series for multiple times, it's a detective series about a private investigator who's also a wizard in modern day Chicago. He fights things like dark wizards, werewolves, demons, fairies.
But according to fairy tale, fairies aren't real.
Well, there's fairies in this, and there's a whole political fairy structure.
What?
Fairy politics is very much alive in this series, and it's really interesting how it works.
Can I major in fairy politics?
No. Fairy political science. Yeah, and then the 5th book. Oh yeah, and there's also vampires in this, and there's right now there's a war between vampires and wizards.
So Twilight meets Harry Potter?
Sure, except it's better than Twilight.
Everything's better than Twilight.
So yeah, the 5th book involves Harry Dresden, the wizard, having been set up to a duel with a vampire assassin, and then also he needs to find a mystical shroud that was stolen from a church in Italy, the shroud that Jesus was wrapped in when he was in the tomb, mm-hmm. And then also there's also demons after him.
It sounds like a mix of supernatural.
It is kind of like if you like supernatural or psych, I would highly recommend. Psych sounds really out there, but no, it's like
The humor.
the humor. There's a lot of humor in this. The character is really funny, and like it really keeps the story going.
So, kind of like an adult Percy Jackson.
An adult, yeah, I would say it's a Percy Jackson for adults.
Okay.
Very much worth reading because it has its own mythology surrounding it too.
Let me finish the Chronicles, then we'll start it.
It's so good, like
on the last book.
and now like 20 minutes before we recorded this podcast, I started reading The Princess Bride. You know the movie The Princess Bride. I'm reading the book, and I like it so far.
Because Kevin.
Because Kevin.
Because Kevin.
Because Kevin what?
Because Kevin.
Because I'm Kevin.
Come on, man.
Would you want to put more bass into it?
No, yeah, try.
Because I'm Kevin.
Sound like Alex. Go for an Alex.
Because I can't do it. My voice can only go so low.
Guys, we need Alex.
I can put my voice really high, though. I can do. Well, Ryan, it sounds like you're on helium. I know, right?
And now I'm on reverse heel. I can't do the deep voice.
Kevin, why can't you do it?
Wow, Ryan. You know what? You can just go.
Okay.
I can't do a deep voice very well. This is our cheapest.
Guys, this is what we do in America.
We have voice envy.
For international people listening to us, this is what we do in America.
Hi, China.
And this is also what college students do.
Hi, China. I'm half Chinese.
Kevin! You can't just say things like that.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm halfway. Is someone outside? No. But was there anything else we want to talk about?
I'm thinking. I need to.
Ooh, the sixth gun.
Oh yeah, you told me about that. Yeah,
I read the first volume, but I forgot to talk about it last week.
Yeah, how was it?
Okay, so the sixth gun is a supernatural western. And there's like 6 mystical guns in existence. One of them is like shoots fireballs. One of them grants you eternal youth.
How?
One of them
shoot yourself?
No, you just because these guns, like the first person that touches them, the gun is bound to them for life, and anyone else touches the gun, they like their hands get singed off.
So wait a minute, with the Eternal Youth one, do you like shoot someone else and they get Eternal Youth, or
No, it's just the gun owner that has Eternal Youth, but the gun works like a normal gun.
Okay, I was about to say like,
but also
you're just giving everyone Eternal Youth, like bang, bang.
No.
Bang.
It's just the owner has Eternal Youth, but like it's bound to them for life,
okay.
And it kind of gives them invulnerability too, so they can't really die.
Okay, I was about to say like, so what happens if someone kills them? They take the gun from them?
Yeah, but you know, like if an owner of the gun dies, the first person who touches the gun after that owns the gun. So. And then there's this gun. There's one gun where it gives the owner visions of the future. Not when you shoot it, it just randomly gives you visions of the future.
Just like you got a gun, just like, all right, I got you.
Yeah.
Just like, whoa, that is.
Yeah. So like so the gun that has the vision of the future, that gives you visions of the future. This old guy had it. And he was like really ill with cancer, and like his stepdaughter was taking care of him, but then robbers came in and like went into that, vandalized the house, and shot the father. So like out of self-defense, the stepdaughter grabbed the gun and started shooting it, not knowing there was a magical gun that's now bound to her for life. So now and then you got this ghost cowboys coming after her for that gun, and she's just trying to figure out what the gun is trying to lead her to.
Is that the sixth gun?
That's the sixth gun.
So wait, what are the other? You only explained.
So like, Fireball, Eternal Youth, Seeing the Future. One gives someone instant plague.
Why would anyone want that gun?
No, you shoot it, and the people who got shot.
Oh, okay. Damn, like you just pick up the gun.
No.
Okay, so this gun never moved.
Yeah, and then one of them brings the dead back to life.
So you shoot it at the ground.
You shoot it at the ground, and then like the souls who were like killed by that gun, they form out of the dirt and become soldiers.
Now, question about the plague gun. Okay, so say you don't hit them in the heart or any other vital organ and kill them instantly. I guess that would make sense for that. But if you shoot them like with a quick shot and actually kill them, it's like, okay, you have the plague. By the way, your dead body has the plague.
Yeah, no, but like it's more like if you didn't shoot them, if they just like grazed them, they would still get the plague.
Oh yeah, but why not just poison your bullets?
Well, I mean that's expensive and time consuming.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
But like, might as well just have it magically, hey.
but it kind of sucks if you're like, hey, I have the fire, I have the see into the future gun, and it's like, hey, I have the plague gun. Oh, well,
yeah, and the other one shoots like bullets that impact like cannonballs.
Is it the sixth one?
Well, I mean that's not I didn't say it in order. It's like it's called the sixth gun but they're like there's no order of how the guns are.
Okay.
It's just they just call it the sixth gun because let's just say there's the sixth gun that was introduced in the story.
Okay. So yeah, I'm like the fireball one. I would want the fireball one and the eternal youth one.
Mm-hmm. Well, and like you can have multiple guns.
Ooh, that would make it all the better. Just like you just pull out like got 6 guns. Like I got 6 guns. Which one you want me to pull out? Like I want
that one.
Like, all right, just shoot it. Fireball comes out. Like okay.
But yeah, I read the first volume. The plot for the first volume, it's like a story arc. Mm-hmm. So the first story arc was kind of simple, but it was really well done. And I'm very much interested in seeing how the story turns out. I know it recently ended over the summer, so the last volume will be coming out soon. So I just have to...
How many volumes are there?
There might be 7 or 8 volumes. Yeah, so... The first one was hard enough to find as it is. The second one, I'm gonna have to order it from Amazon.
That's how I feel about Runaways Volume 3 right now.
Yeah, Amazon stealing money from bookstores and comic shops.
Yep.
But yeah, the Sixth Gun was a really great first volume, and I highly recommend it to others. And anything else?
Trying to think. I finished the 3rd book of Lunar Chronicles, but no one knows what that is, so...
Yeah, it's Fairy Tales in Space.
Fairy Tales in Space. I'm about to read the final book, Winter, which is about... the main character in this one is,
Cinderella?
No. Actually, the first one was Cinderella, because Cinder. The second one was Scarlet. Third one was Cress, which was Rapunzel. That was the only one that didn't, exactly mess up. I mean, mix up.
Is it like an overarching plot, though?
Yeah, it's an overarching plot.
Okay.
And then the 4th book is Winter.
Hold on. I think I saw that on my Goodreads feed. Yeah, here it is.
Yeah.
It popped up. So this one's Snow White.
Yeah, that one's Snow White. And, that's the final book. Basically, the series has built up to this final conclusion. You could tell from the beginning that the main...
Oh my gosh, 832 pages?
Yeah. You could tell.
You don't usually... I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but you don't really see that much in young adult. Books being that long. But the first one's only 400 pages.
Yeah, they get progressively bigger.
And putting it on my to-read list.
Yeah, definitely read them. I got hooked on them immediately. Okay, this is me. This is me, teenage guy, and I'm just and so somebody just happened to be, carrying this book, and I was like, oh, these books look stupid. It's it's about princesses and stuff. I don't want to read this. And it's Cinderella. So I just happened to see it in the Walmart one day. The first 2 books, both on sale, and I was like, oh, it's that little stupid princess book. So I happened to pick it up. I'm like, well, I want to see what this is about. So I turn it back, and I'm just reading the back. I'm like, I'm gonna get the other 2.
Hey, grab the other one.
I'm gonna walk to the checkout, and I just happened to take it home. And from the first 2 chapters, I was just like, I'm hooked. I'm like, it's kind of like your general young adult thing. But the story of it is really good. You get invested in the characters, and you can actually see the fairy tale mythos behind them. Mm-hmm. The Cinderella one, they have subtle Cinderella plot lines to it. The pumpkin that gets turned into a car?
Yeah.
I mean, it gets turned into a carriage or whatever?
Yeah.
They have a symbolism that she fixes up this old car to get to the ball or whatever, because she's a mechanic, and it's a really orange, pumpkin-looking car. And, when I'm reading this, I'm not even paying attention to that. I'm just she has to get the ball, and she has the gown, and I'm just, reading it, and, then she gets there, and then, they have this little fact thing in the back, and it's, little subtle nods, what were some of the subtle nods he came to? Like, yeah, well, the pumpkin car. I'm like, wait a minute. I went back. I'm like, it's a pumpkin car. I'm like, so yeah, it's just.
I wouldn't say that was subtle because the way you described it is like it's pumpkin orange. It's like, well, that's a little on the nose.
I mean, yeah, but like the first time I was reading, I just skimmed over because I'm like, hey, it's a car and it looks beat down. And, like they did more detail with the whole beat down part and her having like almost like trying to get to the ball because the car was breaking down.
Yeah.
Whereas I just completely skipped over the orange part of it because it was like a race against time to get to the ball, and I was like, she had to get there before midnight. I'm like, wait, before midnight? Okay.
Sounds interesting.
I know. It's plus like...
It sounds like something we may have heard before.
No, she didn't...
I know, I'm just kidding.
Well, she didn't have to leave before midnight. She had to be there before midnight.
Yeah,
like,
a little twist.
Yeah, I was like, okay, this was a good story. And Scarlet is also good with the whole, Little Red Riding Hood.
Yeah.
And Rapunzel. I never knew much about Rapunzel, but that was a good story, so...
Tangled, man.
Okay, yes, I've seen Tangled. Tangled is one of my favorite...
Better than Frozen.
Way better than Frozen. I think Tangled and Princess and the Frog are my favorite Disney princess movies.
I'm not sure if I mentioned this on the podcast or to you before, but it's like, when I first saw Frozen, everyone was like, "Oh, Frozen's so great." I'm just like, it's okay, it's good. Yeah. Tangled is better though, and people would just would want to crucify me for saying that. Right. No. But nowadays, I keep seeing my newsfeed from different people, like every now and then, it's just like, unpopular opinion, saying Tangled is better than Frozen. I'm just like, this is what I've been saying from the beginning.
Right. I saw Frozen, like people were like, "Oh God, this is annoying."
And
song.
I love how everyone's saying that it's an unpopular opinion. Like, no, everyone's saying this now.
Right. I'm like, no, it was unpopular. It was popular. No one.
At first, it started off as an unpopular opinion.
I think it.
But now it's a popular opinion because people are realizing, oh, Frozen, it's not that great.
I know, like there was nothing good. The only thing that made it different was one, the true love part was.
Hold on, I'm getting a call.
Wait, what?
Hello?
Guys, tune in to Kevin getting a call.
I'm in my room. What's up? Okay. Okay. See ya.
Who is it?
Bye. It's Danny. So yeah, he's gonna come up here soon. So bye-bye. End of the podcast.
Alright. See ya.
Support us on Patreon. Follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/more nerds. And Ryan, you had a Twitter?
I do have a Twitter, @FireYouRed, or look me up on Instagram, @FireYouRed, or look me up on Facebook, @FireYouRed. Bye.
Bye.